Joshua chapter 18. Hello, my name is Lydia and I'm currently reading the entire Bible, chapter by chapter, day by day, until I get to the end of it. I started in James, got halfway through Exodus, and was inundated by laws, and I just needed a break. So here I am in Joshua now. We're almost at the end of this book, and I'm trying to record all the videos for this book today because I'm going away this week, and I do want to be consistent. I will not be if I'm trying to film while I'm away. So anyway, let's get right into it. Joshua chapter 18, division of the rest of the land. The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The country was brought under their control, but there were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Joshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I will send them out to make a survey of the land and to write a description of it, according to the inheritance of each. Then they will return to me. You are to divide the land into 7 parts. Judah is to remain in its territory on the south, and the house of Joseph in its territory on the north. After you have written descriptions of the 7 parts of the land, bring them here to me, and I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, do not get a portion among you, because the priestly service of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it to them." As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua instructed them, "Go and make a survey of the land, and write a description of it. Then return to me, and I will cast lots for you here at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord." So the men left and went through the land. They wrote its description on a scroll, town by town, in 7 parts, and returned to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh. Joshua then cast lots for them in Shiloh in the presence of the Lord, and there he distributed the land to the Israelites according to their tribal divisions. Allotment for Benjamin. The lot came up for the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan. Their allotted territory lay between the tribes of Judah and Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, past the northern slope of Jericho, and headed west into the hill country, coming out at the desert of Bethaven. From there it crossed to the south slope of Luz, that is, Bethel, and went down to Ataroth Adar on the hill south of Lower Beth Horon. From the hill facing Beth Horon on the south, the boundary turned south. On the south, the boundary turned south along the western side and came out at Kiriath Baal, that is, Kiriath Jearim, a town of the people of Judah. This was the western side. The southern side began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim on the west, and the boundary came out at the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. The boundary went down to the foot of the hill facing the valley of Ben Hinnom, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down the Hinnom Valley along the southern slope of the Jebusite city, and so to En Rogel. It then curved north, went to En Shemesh, continued to Geliloth, which faces the pass of Adumim, and ran down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. It continued to the northern slope of Beth Arabah, and on down into the Arabah. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hoglah, and came out at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan in the south. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan formed the boundary on the eastern side. These were the boundaries that marked out the inheritance of the clans of Benjamin on all sides. The tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, had the following cities: Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Para, Ophrah, Kepher Ammoni, Ophni, and Geba, 12 towns and their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Moza, Rechem, Irpeel, Tarala, Zela, Haelef, the Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem, Gibeath and Kiriath, 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. Right. Thank you so much for joining me today and for reading the Bible with me and for pouring into your own relationship with God. This is great stuff and I'm very happy for you. I pray that God blesses you abundantly today and tomorrow in case I do not post, but I do plan on posting tomorrow, so God willing, I will see you then. Aside from that, there are playlists on my YouTube channel, which are easier to navigate than my TikTok tends to be. So click the link in my TikTok bio and that will take you there. Those playlists cover, firstly, every chapter which I've read from James up to halfway through Exodus, and then from the start of Joshua onwards, just omnibus playlists, and then also playlists dedicated to each book of the Bible which I have read, as stated, in French, Spanish, and English. English is my first language, which, I mean, given all of these place names, which I am unaccustomed to, you probably couldn't tell, but it is. And then French and Spanish I learnt a while ago when I was in school. I took a break from learning them, but I missed them dearly and I always wanted to be fluent. And now I'm actualising that dream chapter by chapter, day by day, until I get to the end of this book. So, if you are fluent in French and or Spanish, please don't judge me too hard. I understand my pronunciation can be a bit willy-nilly at times. I understand, I get it. It frustrates me too. But I would really appreciate support on all of those videos so that we can really spread the gospel to as many people as possible and encourage people to read their word. So, may God bless you, and God willing, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.